I had blood sugar issues, and, there's a lot of info out there about keto. And, so started doing keto for a while, lost a lot of weight. But, and my blood sugars were controlled, but if I ate any carbohydrates, and when I mean any, I mean any, even something like blueberries, my blood sugar went crazy. And then when I repeated my blood work, oh my goodness, like my cholesterol numbers were like, I've never seen it like that in my entire life, as well as I was constipated.
Yeah, because you take all of that fiber away too. And so that's why you're constipated too. And what we know about fiber has so many great health benefits for us. It's been shown to reduce our risk of colorectal cancer. It's been shown to lower our cholesterol. And so you're suddenly taking that out of your diet, and now you're exposing yourself to all of these things with going keto.
The cause of insulin resistant is too much fat. And then you become insensitive to carbohydrates. So getting the fat out is how you cure insulin resistance. And then there was so much, I was eating so much fat of what I thought was healthy fat. Then that's kind of what my path was. I'm like, this is not the answer. Like, okay, this was an answer. I lost a lot of weight to doing it. But I'm like, how is this right? Where I'm not eating any fruit. Like, this cannot be a healthy, sustainable option. I would say most people are aware that eating fruits and vegetables, and eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, everybody should do that. Like, I don't think there's anybody, unless you've been, living on a desert island and not in touch with civilization, everybody would agree with you that, I should eat more fruits and vegetables. Like, that's healthy. But if we take it a step further, well, what's wrong with animal products? Why would somebody or anybody or everybody consider eating a plant-based diet?
People really need the motivation to do these things. There's one thing when we know to do these things, but there's another thing when we're motivated to do these things. Animal-based products actually contribute to a lot of these health conditions, what we found. For instance, cholesterol is, an easy one for people to grasp an understanding of. We as mammals, as humans, we all make cholesterol. So these animals make even more cholesterol. So within our bodies, we have more than enough cholesterol that we need for life-sustaining purposes. But when we consume these animal products, that raises our cholesterol, which in turn put these little calcifications and plaques in our blood vessels and increase our risk for things like heart attacks and strokes. We know that a plant-based way of eating has been shown to not only help improve conditions like was in my case, but it's also been shown to prevent certain health conditions, things like prediabetes turning into diabetes, or prevent heart disease. There are a number of studies on heart health with plant-based foods and with soy-based foods too.
So say somebody's listening to this and they're like, okay, like, I want to try to be plant-based. Now what do I do? Because I'm used to eating eggs and bacon for breakfast, chicken salad for lunch, or a turkey sandwich for lunch, and then meat, potatoes, and a vegetable for dinner. So how do I start? Like, I like all those foods, and I thought I was being so healthy.
Honestly, when I talk to people about changing their eating habits, we start with where they're at. An egg and bacon breakfast that you typically eat, for instance. Well, think about, why do you like the eggs and the bacon? Is it because of the saltiness that you think you're going for? Is it because you just like a hot breakfast versus something cold, like a whole grain cereal? Or is it, what is it actually that you feel like you're getting when you eat the eggs and bacon? So once we kind of break it down on that level, then we can think about, well, what can we have in the place of that?
What are some easy switch, like, at least in my house, is I stopped buying cow's milk. Like, that's That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
super easy switches.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
so many now.
Yeah, so milk is a easy substitute. Even coffee creamers are an easy substitute nowadays. There are a lot of plant-based ones. I'm a huge fan of nut pods. They're actually a combination of coconut milk and almond milk, and they don't have any sugar in them, so they're totally unsweetened. If you're looking for, there are tons of vegan junk food. So if you're still, missing your hamburger or your chicken nuggets and those type of things, you can find some, plant-based replacements on those. Ultimately, those you're definitely not going to get all of those health benefits we talked about by doing that. But if that's your way of weaning down on your animal intake to eventually get there with more plants on your plate, then yeah, they are there.
I've been eating a whole food plant-based now for a couple months and got rid of animal products from my own blood sugar condition. I've been slowly trying to convince my family and my husband, who's a very, very into meat. And so I've just been kind of like, okay, we're going to, a couple times a week, we're not going to have meat. And at least with our dinners that we're having meat, but incorporating more vegetables in it. So I'm trying to kind of just squeeze out the meat. Do you recommend kind of weaning into this process of eating plant-based of okay, I'll try maybe a meatless Monday, or I'll have a fully plant-based for one meal a day, or just diving straight in and saying, all right, no more animal products for me?
It really depends on the person. And then it also depends on, like we talked about, the motivation. So if it's one of my people, who's coming in, they've got an A1C of 11, and we are really wanting to kick this into high gear and start reversing some of these health conditions, then yeah, let's go full on board. Let's get a full, meal plan. Let's, have your oatmeal for breakfast. Let's do, a healthy salad or a veggie sandwich for lunch. Let's talk about, some type of maybe even bean-based pasta or something for dinner. Let's, really hit it hard and get these numbers down. Versus if you're that person that we talked about who may not have any health conditions, but I just want to eat a little bit healthier. Yeah, start with the meatless Monday, work your way that way, because that allows you to learn more plant-based things that you like. A lot of times, as we're growing up, and if we haven't grown up plant-based, we only know a few vegetables that we've maybe even have tried. And there are many things out there that you've never been exposed to or never tried. That you can start to get your palate accustomed to eating more plants.
Well, I can't be a vegan. Where am I going to get my protein from?
I gave a talk at a Veg Fest a few months ago. And for the talk, I actually Googled, what are some of the most common things that people ask about, veganism? And that was number one. Where do you get your protein? You're going to be protein deficient. Well, no, it's just not true that you're going to be protein deficient. Vegetables have protein, believe it or most people just don't realize it, but vegetables have protein in them, naturally occurring sources of protein. And when you eat those high fiber foods that we talked about, you'll get even more protein. I always give the example of if you eat, for instance, a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast, if at lunch you then have a veggie wrap and put some hummus and, maybe some spinach and tofu in it, then dinner you have, you can even just have a sweet potato and some beans. You're going to get more than what the recommended daily allowance of protein is. In the standard diet, most people are getting 2-3 times the amount of what they should actually be consuming in terms of protein. And what we know about too much protein is that it can cause kidney damage because our kidneys weren't designed to filter out that amount of protein. As well as, when it's more animal-based, you're going to get all of those other effects of animal-based products. Versus if you're consuming more plant-based, not only will you get more than enough protein, you're going to get healthy proteins that will not cause that same level of damage to your system.